The massive warship of the Dra'kari Empire drifted silently above Earth. Its dark metal hull gleamed under the distant sun, casting a shadow over the planet below. Inside the ship, General Han stood tall as he faced the alien delegation. His simple blue uniform looked plain next to their golden armor and flowing capes. The tallest alien, Supreme Commander Dra'kari, looked down at Han with 4 glowing eyes. "Your weapons are toys," he said with a deep laugh. "Your ships are slow. How has your species survived this long?" Han didn't show any emotion. He had practiced this for months. "We have done our best with what we have," he said calmly. Around the meeting table, the other aliens smiled. Some whispered to each other behind clawed hands. One pointed at Han's old-style paper notes and chuckled. "The humans use paper still, like children." Han kept his face still. Let them laugh, he thought. Let them think us weak. Supreme Commander Dra'kari pressed a button on his wrist. A large map of the galaxy appeared in the air. "The Dra'kari Empire controls 3,000 worlds," he said proudly. "Your Earth is nothing. A speck of dust." The map zoomed in to show Earth's solar system. A red line circled Mars, Jupiter, and several moons. These belong to the Empire. "Now," Dra'kari said, "we will take their resources. You may keep your Earth." Han bowed his head as if accepting his fate. "The Empire is generous," he said softly. Dra'kari smiled, showing rows of sharp teeth. "We are indeed. Other species fought us. They do not exist anymore." The aliens around the table nodded. One tapped information into a device. "Humans are now classified as Class D civilization," he announced. "Suitable for basic labor, limited space travel rights." Han signed the treaty with a steady hand. The Empire would allow Earth to keep its small fleet of ships. Humans could travel only to the moon without special permission. Earth would pay high taxes to the Empire each year. As Han turned to leave, Supreme Commander Dra'kari called after him. "One more thing, human. We will need your best scientists to work for us. Send a list of names by tomorrow." Han nodded and left the room with his small team. They walked in silence through the massive alien ship. The walls were lined with weapons. Han pretended not to understand. Empire soldiers watched them pass, some laughing openly at the humans' simple uniforms and outdated tablets. Back on their shuttle, Han's team kept quiet until they had left the Empire ship. Only when they were halfway to Earth did Han speak. "Well?" he asked his second-in-command. Officer Min Min smiled for the first time that day. "They believe it completely, sir. Their scans only detected our decoy fleet. They think our best weapons are the old laser cannons." Han nodded. "And they didn't detect your implant?" Min touched the small spot behind her ear. The quantum communicator was smaller than a grain of rice. "No, sir. Their scanners are good, but not good enough." Han leaned back in his seat and finally allowed himself to relax. "Send the message to command. Tell them the sun sets on Neptune." Min's fingers moved quickly over her tablet. The coded message would travel through channels the Empire couldn't detect. It would reach Earth's real military headquarters hidden deep beneath the Pacific Ocean. From the shuttle window, Han could see Earth growing larger. The beautiful blue planet looked so peaceful, so vulnerable. The Empire thought they were conquering a weak, primitive world. They had no idea what humanity had hidden from them. For 50 years, Earth had known the aliens were watching. For 50 years, they had shown the galaxy a weak face while building their real strength in secret. "Sir," Min said quietly, "what happens when the Empire finds out the truth?" Han watched as they entered Earth's atmosphere. Below them, people went about their daily lives, most unaware of what had just happened above their world. "They won't find out until it's too late," he said. "Remember your history. The most successful military strategy is making your enemy think you're weak when you're strong." As their shuttle landed at the old San Francisco spaceport, Han checked his watch. In 6 hours, he would board a submarine to the real command center. In 12 hours, the orders would go out to the hidden fleet commanders. And somewhere in the darkness beyond Neptune, Admiral Zhou would receive the message. She would smile as she looked out at the thousands of advanced warships hidden in the ice giant's stormy atmosphere. invisible to the Empire's sensors. The Empire had laughed at humans today. Soon, they wouldn't be laughing anymore. Captain Moon stood at the massive window, gazing out at the shipyards hidden within Neptune's swirling clouds. The view still took her breath away, even after 5 years stationed here. Hundreds of advanced warships floated in the blue-green atmosphere, protected by the planet's natural storms and hidden from the Empire's watching eyes. "Amazing, isn't it?" said Engineer Bay as he joined her at the window. 50 years of work, and the Empire still has no idea we're here." Moon nodded. "They think we're still using ion engines and basic projectile weapons." She smiled. "Their faces will be quite interesting when they discover the truth." Bay laughed softly. "If they could see our quantum drives and plasma cannons, they wouldn't be so quick to call us primitive." A soft alarm sounded and both turned from the window. The main screen lit up with an incoming message. The words were simple. "The sun sets on Neptune." "It's time," Moon whispered. The code phrase meant Operation Shadow Veil had entered its final phase. The Empire had taken the bait and believed humans were a weak, easy target. Moon and Bay hurried through the huge underground base carved into Neptune's solid core. Around them, thousands of men and women moved with new purpose as the message spread. These people didn't exist in any official records. Their families thought they had died in accidents or disappeared on deep space missions. In reality, they had become part of humanity's secret defense force. In the main hangar, Admiral Zhou was already addressing a group of ship captains. His gray hair and lined face showed the 50 years he had dedicated to this project. "The Empire has classified Earth as a Class D civilization," Zhou told the gathered officers. "They believe we are primitive, weak, and easy to control." He smiled grimly. "That is exactly what we wanted them to think." Zhou pointed to the large map showing Earth's solar system. "The Empire now controls the space around Mars and has begun mining operations on several moons. They've restricted human ships to Earth and lunar orbits only." Captain Moon joined the circle of officers. She had been 16 when the first alien probe was discovered near Pluto. That day had changed humanity's path forever. Dr. Kang had been the first to understand what the probe meant. "They're studying us," she had told world leaders, "judging our capabilities, and when they finish they will come to take what they want." Instead of building obvious defenses, Earth had made a bold choice. They would show the watching aliens a weak, divided planet with limited technology. Meanwhile, in secret, they would build their real strength. Admiral Zhou pressed a button, and the image changed to show the massive shadow fleet. 2,000 warships, he said proudly, each more advanced than anything the Empire has seen before. The captains studied the display with serious faces. For decades they had trained in secret while Earth showed a carefully crafted mask to the galaxy. "What about the new shields?" asked one captain. "Will they really hide us from Empire sensors?" Engineer Bay stepped forward. "The quantum shields bend light and other scanning waves around our ships. To Empire sensors will appear to be nothing but small rocks or gas clouds until we deactivate the shields." Moon thought about her own ship, the Shadowhawk. It was small, but deadly fast, designed for surprise attacks. Her crew of 50 had trained together for years, preparing for a day they hoped would never come. "When do we move?" she asked Admiral Zhou. "Not yet," Zhou replied. "First we wait for the signal from Earth. General Han needs to position the decoy fleet where the Empire expects it." He looked around the room. "The Empire needs to feel completely safe before we strike." As the meeting ended, Moon walked with Bay back toward the living quarters. The hallways were busy with people checking weapons and preparing ships. "My sister thinks I died in the Mars colony accident 7 years ago," Moon said quietly. "Sometimes I wonder what she would think if she knew the truth." Bay nodded. "My parents held a funeral for me. They visit my empty grave every year." He sighed. "But this is bigger than us. This is about the survival of our species." They reached Moon's quarters and she paused at the door. "Do you think it will work, our plan?" Bay looked back toward the hangar where thousands of hidden ships waited. The Empire has conquered thousands of worlds because they were always the strongest, always had the best technology. He smiled. They've never faced an enemy who deliberately appeared weak while hiding their true strength. Moon entered her room and looked at the picture of her family she kept by her bed. They thought she was dead, one of many sacrifices made for humanity's secret plan. Soon they would either know the truth, or the plan would fail, and Earth would truly fall to the Empire. She opened her computer and began reviewing her ship's systems. The Shadowhawk would be ready when the call came, and when it did, the Empire would learn that humans were far more dangerous than they appeared. The red dust of Mars swirled around the human settlement of New Hope. 5,000 colonists had built the dome city over 20 years, making the harsh planet feel almost like home. Now Imperial ships hung in the sky above them like dark stars. Inside the main control room, Governor Yoon watched the largest screen with growing dread. The Empire had demanded increasing resources over the past 3 months. First minerals, then water, and now land. They want us to evacuate the Eastern Dome by tomorrow, said his assistant, Officer Park. 300 families live there. Yoon's hands tightened into fists. Where are they supposed to go? We don't have room in the other domes. The communication screen lit up. The face of Imperial Commander Zex filled the display, his gray skin and multiple eyes showing no emotion. Your response is required, human, Zex said coldly. Will you comply with the evacuation order? Yoon took a deep breath. We need more time. The Eastern Dome contains our main food production. Moving those facilities will take at least 2 weeks. Commander Zex's eyes narrowed. You were not asked for conditions. You will comply immediately. Please, Yoon said, hating how weak his voice sounded. We have children there. Elderly people. We need— Your time is wasted on me, Zex interrupted. The Empire has been generous, you keep your planet. We take what we need from this worthless rock. The screen went dark. Yoon looked at Officer Park with despair. Send the evacuation order, he said finally. We have no choice. 200 miles away, hidden beneath the surface of Mars, Colonel Shin received the transmission from New Hope. In the secret underground base, 50 soldiers watched her face for a reaction. They're pushing too hard, Shin said quietly. Just as Admiral Jin predicted. Her second-in-command, Major Zhou, nodded grimly. The Empire always does this. They start with small demands, then take more and more until nothing is left. Shin walked to the main console. Unlike the outdated technology the Empire had seen on their inspection tours, this room contained humanity's most advanced systems. A holographic display showed the Imperial ships in orbit. 3 destroyers and 1 cruiser, she noted. They didn't even send a full battle group. They think we're not worth the effort. Major Zhou studied the display. If we reveal ourselves now, we risk the entire operation. The plan calls for us to wait. Shin didn't answer immediately. The secret Mars base was one of dozens hidden throughout the solar system. For decades, humans had prepared for this moment. The question was, had the time finally come? Her communication device beeped. A message from Earth appeared. Monitor, only. No engagement authorized. Shin's jaw tightened. Understood, she replied, though no one could see her frustration. Back in New Hope, the evacuation had begun. Families packed what they could carry and moved toward the central dome. Governor Yoon stood at the airlock trying to offer comfort to frightened children and angry adults. The Empire promised us protection, an old man shouted. Now they take our homes. Yoon had no good answer. When the Empire had arrived, Earth's leaders had signed treaties, accepting second-class status in exchange for peace. Now they were seeing the true cost of those agreements. From orbit, Commander Zex watched the humans scurry about. Pathetic creatures, he told his bridge officers. They build such fragile shelters. It's a wonder they've survived this long. His second-in-command approached with a report. Sir, our sensors detect unusual energy readings from the southern region. It could be hidden technology. Zex considered this. Impossible. Our initial scans showed nothing of value there. He made a quick decision. Send a message to their governor. Tell him we now require the complete evacuation of all domes within 3 days. The entire settlement belongs to the Empire now. When Governor Yoon received the new demand, his face went pale. They can't be serious. We can't evacuate everyone. Where would we go? Officer Park looked sick. Our ships can only carry a few hundred back to Earth. The rest would... The unspoken truth hung in the air. Without the domes, most of the colonists would die. Yoon made a decision. Send a message to Earth Command. Tell them what's happening. In the Lunar Command Center hidden beneath the surface of the moon, Admiral Kang received the Mars transmission. Her face remained calm, but her eyes flashed with anger. Send a message to General Han, she ordered. The Empire has crossed the line. The general's response came quickly. Maintain position. Continue monitoring. Admiral Kang looked at the tactical display showing the Imperial ships above Mars. So few of them, so confident in their superiority. Then a new message appeared. It was from Mars, but not from the governor. It came from the secret base. Imperial. Forces have launched weapons. Eastern Dome breached. Hundreds of civilians dead. Admiral Kang stood motionless for a long moment. Then she spoke the words that would change everything. Send the signal to all commands. Emergence Protocol Alpha. I repeat, Emergence Protocol Alpha. Throughout the solar system, hidden bases received the code. On Neptune, Captain Moon ran toward her ship. In the asteroid belt, Commander Cho powered up his battle group. And on Earth, General Han smiled grimly as he prepared to show the Empire humanity's true face. The time for hiding was over. Imperial Admiral Vex stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Eternal Glory. His 6 eyes blinked with satisfaction as he watched the small human fleet gather near Earth's moon. 20 outdated ships with weak weapons and slow engines. This was the mighty defense force of humanity. Pathetic, he said to his officers. They send these toys against us? His second-in-command laughed. Their largest ship has the firepower of our smallest scout vessel. Vex smiled, showing his sharp teeth. After destroying the Eastern Dome on Mars, he had expected more resistance. Instead, the humans had sent this weak fleet as if it could make any difference. Open communication with their leader, Vex ordered. The main screen showed General Han's face. The human looked tired but calm. This is your final warning, Vex said. The Empire now claims your entire solar system. Your people will serve us. Or die. You have 1 hour to surrender. General Han nodded slowly. I understand, he said. But before I answer, may I ask a question? Vex waved a clawed hand. If you must. Do you know why we never built better ships? Why we let you believe we were weak? Vex laughed. Because you are weak. Your species has barely left its home planet. Han checked his watch. Actually, Admiral Vex, we've been traveling the stars for decades. We just didn't want you to know. He looked directly at the alien. Check your sensors again. You might find some surprises. The communication ended. Vex was about to mock the human's strange words when alarms began blaring across the bridge. Sir, shouted the sensor officer. Multiple contacts appearing, hundreds of them. Vex rushed to the tactical display. Around Jupiter, ships were appearing, where none had been before. Near Saturn's rings, more vessels emerged. From Neptune's blue clouds, a massive fleet suddenly appeared. Impossible, Vex whispered. In the darkness of the Kuiper Belt, Captain Moon deactivated her ship's quantum shields. The Shadowhawk became visible to Imperial sensors, along with 50 other attack vessels that had been hiding in plain sight. All around the solar system, humanity's secret fleet was revealing itself. Moon's communications officer looked up. Orders received from Admiral Kang. We are to target the Imperial communication relays first. Moon nodded. Tell all ships to launch. On my mark. She waited 3 seconds. Mark. The Shadowhawk accelerated to speeds the Empire had thought impossible for human technology. Across her view screen, Moon saw hundreds of other ships doing the same, all converging on the surprised Imperial fleet. On the Eternal Glory, Admiral Vex was shouting orders. "Launch fighters! Power main weapons!" "Where did they come from?" His tactical officer's voice shook. "Sir, we're detecting advanced drive signatures. Their technology. It's beyond our own." "That's not possible," Vex snarled. "They're a Class D civilization." Before he could say more, the ship shuddered violently. The main lights flickered and died, replaced by red emergency lighting. "Communication. Relays destroyed," reported an officer. "We cannot contact the Empire." In Earth orbit, General Han watched from his command ship as the human fleet executed their carefully planned attack. For 50 years they had prepared for this moment. They had built ships in secret, developed weapons the Empire had never seen, and trained soldiers who officially didn't exist. Near Jupiter, Admiral Kang led the main battle group against the Empire's largest dreadnought. Her ship, the Vengeance, fired weapons that cut through Imperial shields like they weren't there. "Target their engines," she ordered calmly. "Disable, don't destroy." Within 30 minutes, the battle was over. The mighty Imperial fleet hung dead in space, their engines disabled, their weapons silent. Not a single human ship had been lost. On the bridge of the Eternal Glory, Admiral Vex sat in shocked silence as human soldiers boarded his vessel. They wore advanced armor and carried weapons that hummed with strange energy. General Han walked onto the bridge, no longer looking tired or weak. "Admiral Vex," he said politely, "I believe we need to discuss new terms." Vex could only stare at him. "How?" he finally managed to ask. "How did you hide all this?" Han smiled. 50 years ago, we detected your probes watching our planet. We knew someday you would come to take what you wanted, so we showed you what we wanted you to see, a weak species with primitive technology." He gestured to the view screen, which showed hundreds of advanced human warships surrounding the Imperial fleet. "Meanwhile, we built our real fleet in places you never thought to look. Inside gas giants, within asteroids, hidden beneath the surfaces of moons." A human officer approached with a communication device. "Sir, Admiral Kang reports all Imperial ships have been secured. No casualties on our side, minimal casualties on theirs." Han nodded. "Good." He turned back to Vex. "Now, Admiral, let's talk about those Mars colonists whose homes you destroyed." Vex's multiple eyes blinked rapidly. "Your deception. It's unforgivable." Han leaned closer. "No, Admiral. Unforgivable is attacking peaceful civilians. Unforgivable is thinking you could take our world without a fight." His voice hardened. "But you'll have plenty of time to think about that when you explain to your Emperor how you lost an entire fleet to a primitive species." Outside the viewports, Earth's secret fleet moved into defensive positions. The ships gleamed in the sunlight, no longer hidden, no longer pretending to be anything less than what they were. Humanity's true strength, finally revealed. In a world transformed by unprecedented change, humanity found itself navigating a delicate balance between technological advancement and survival. The remnants of society had learned to adapt, creating small communities that blended resilience with innovation. Elena Rodriguez watched from the edge of her settlement, her eyes scanning the horizon where solar-powered wind turbines turned slowly against the pale sky. The landscape looked different now. Patches of regenerated forest mixed with carefully designed urban spaces that merged technology with nature. The global catastrophes of previous decades had forced humanity to reimagine everything. Climate shifts, technological disruptions, and social transformations had reshaped human existence. People no longer lived in massive cities but in interconnected, self-sustaining communities that prioritized collaboration and ecological harmony. Communication had evolved. Traditional internet and mobile networks were replaced by decentralized quantum communication systems that were more secure and energy efficient. Information flowed differently, not through corporate-controlled channels but through community-driven networks where transparency was the primary currency. In Elena's community, everyone contributed. Children learned practical skills alongside traditional education. They understood agriculture, basic engineering, emotional intelligence, and sustainable living. The old distinctions between work and learning had disappeared. Every activity was an opportunity to grow, contribute, and understand the intricate connections between human survival and planetary health. Economic systems had transformed dramatically. The concept of money still existed, but wealth was measured not just in material possessions but in skills, community contribution, and ecological stewardship. People traded services, knowledge, and resources more than they exchanged traditional currency. Technology played a crucial role, but it was no longer worshipped blindly. Artificial intelligence and robotics were tools designed to support human well-being, not replace human interaction. Machines assisted in complex problem-solving, medical treatments, and environmental restoration, always under careful human guidance. Elena remembered stories from her grandparents about the chaotic times, climate disasters, technological disruptions, and social tensions that nearly destroyed civilization. Those stories now seemed like distant memories. The New World wasn't perfect, but it was more balanced, more connected. Her community represented this new equilibrium. Solar panels covered rooftops, vertical gardens grew fresh produce, and advanced recycling systems ensured minimal waste. Every structure was designed to work with nature, not against it. Buildings captured rainwater, generated electricity, and provided comfortable living spaces that adapted to changing environmental conditions. Education had become holistic. Young people learned not just academic subjects but also emotional intelligence, ecological understanding, and collaborative problem-solving. They were trained to be adaptive, empathetic, and environmentally conscious. The old competitive models of learning had been replaced by cooperative, purpose-driven approaches. Healthcare had transformed too. Personalized medicine, powered by advanced genetic research and AI diagnostics, allowed for precise preventative treatments. Communities maintained comprehensive health systems that focused on overall well-being. Physical, mental, and environmental health were seen as interconnected. As evening approached, Elena watched community members gather. Some worked on collaborative projects, others shared meals, and children played in communal spaces designed to encourage creativity and social interaction. The sense of belonging was stronger than ever. The new equilibrium wasn't about achieving a perfect state, but about continuous adaptation. Humanity had learned that survival depended on flexibility, cooperation, and a deep understanding of interconnectedness. The old models of competition, individualism, and exploitation had proven unsustainable. Technology, once a potential threat, was now a collaborative tool. Quantum computing, biotechnology, and advanced ecological engineering worked in harmony with human creativity. Each breakthrough was evaluated not just for its technological potential, but for its impact on community well-being and planetary health. As darkness fell, Elena felt a sense of hope. The challenges were enormous, but humanity had demonstrated an incredible capacity to reinvent itself. The new equilibrium wasn't a destination, but a continuous journey of learning, adapting, and growing together. The world had changed, and with it, the human spirit had discovered a more profound, more sustainable way of existing, connected, resilient, and fundamentally reimagined.